Good afternoon to all of you, the team from Deltron and Pratima. I'm Dr. P. Nanda. Dear students, today's topic is the most important topic in the life of any student who is seeking for career. And my recent experience with many students, I would like to mention that 5, 6 students continuously I had interacted. They had a lot of issues with interview and also in CV making. Just to give one example, I'll say one of the students had just told me that last month, 2 months back, when she attended the interview in Aditya Birla Group, in her CV, it was written that one of her achievement was some Python coding. Then she got really uh, means a bad kind of beginning there, and she could understand that was the mistake by because of which she could not get through it. Many students underestimate the importance of HR interview or the personal interview, most commonly, which is known as. Um, with my little bit of experience, let me add something before I introduce our speaker today, Ms. Pratima Samuel. Uh, Dear students, please understand your HR interview is a necessity. Means your HR qualities, which the qualities you must have, is a necessity, though it is not sufficient. So basically, with a rider that in most of the interviews, you never get selected by an HR interview. There is smart possibility that you may get rejected by that. So you must be very careful about it. Now, today with us an eminent speaker, and particularly Pratima Samuel, who has lot of experience, particularly in conducting interview starting to the end, and as she has been associated with the recruiting process of many companies. Now, hand you over to Pratima. Please let us start the deliberation.
So guys, today in today's session, we are going to discuss about the CV writing. And I think when it comes to CV writing, the most important part is before sending our resume to anyone, before we are applying and we are going to send our resume, it is very important to make sure that we are sending any of the profile, or maybe when we are sending any resume to XYZ, any of the company, it's important to understand about the job description, because without knowing for which particular profile we are going to apply, if we are sending a profile, the chances of getting the you know for chances of getting the job, it is you can say it is very less. So it's very important for everyone, before sending any of your profile to any of the company, make sure that you will read the job description properly. And when you are going to when you read that job description, accordingly you will make the manipulation, or you can add skills as per the required skill set which has been mentioned in the job description. So when you're going to do all those things, it is really gives a very good impact to your resume. And also it is very important that we need to understand that for which particular profile we are going to send our resume. So these are few points which I'm going to discuss in this particular session, wherein you will understand when we are sending our profiles to any of our, yeah, HR. So make sure that we keep all those things in our mind, that okay, we are sending our profile to the HR, and we need to make sure that the profile should be correct, it should be grammatical correct, and we need to add all the skills which has been mentioned there. Maybe because you all are students, and this maybe the job which you're applying for, it will be your new job, or maybe it will be your first job. So we do not have anything else apart from our apart from our skills, whatever we used in our college days. So we make sure that before sending our profile, we need to highlight all those things whatever we have done in the college time. Like, if, I'm giving you an example. If you are sending your profile for XYZ, any of the role, maybe you're sending your profile for HR professional, or maybe you're sending your profile for a marketing position or for a finance position too. You need to understand that before sending the profile, we need to add the skills as per the required job. So in case if you're getting a position for a HR recruiter, or maybe for a talent acquisition job in HR, you need to highlight what all qualities you have, why the company will hire you. So make sure that it should be grammatical correct. You need to add the points like you have a very good negotiator. Maybe you can also add that you have a very good com skills as well. Maybe you can also mention in that resume that yes, you are a very good speaker, right? So these are the points which we need to highlight. So guys, can I know that I'm sure that you have a very good knowledge about CV writing as well. So can anyone tell me about something when it comes to anybody who have an experience that they have sent the resume but they're not getting the response from the HR? Can anybody tell me that have you ever been faced that such kind of an issue wherein you are sending the profiles but you're not getting the response from the HR? Anybody can say like.
Ma'am, I'm Dr. P. Nanda.
I think Sambit says yes. Sambit, Rohit also says yes, right? So Rohit, can you explain me about the scenario wherein, okay, Ansari, Mohammed Ansari also said yes. So can anyone tell me that, when you send the profile, I'm sure that you must not getting the responses from the HR. Can anybody can unmute your system and let me know what kind of a challenges probably you faced when sending the resume to the HR professionals? Please unmute your device and tell me about your story. I'm here to listen your story so that I can help you out in terms of making the profiles or making the resume and send it to the correct person. Anybody can unmute and say a few words about it.
Pratima, I'm Dr. P. Nanda. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, doctor, we can hear you.
Yeah. Pratima, I'm Dr. P. Nanda. Actually, I'm Professor Training and Placement. This is a basically engineering university. For campus recruitment, actually, they don't uh, do it through CV shortlisting. Rather, they do it the database we send. Okay, CV shortlisting happens for very few companies. Honestly speaking, I think sometimes I also do not know why these students get rejected. It's very, I mean, it's not that transparent. But if they are applying through LinkedIn and other profile by themselves, I do not have much idea about it.
Okay, so doctor, can you do one thing? Like, I think there is some problem at Pratima's end. So, if can you please type that question in the chat box? I think she will be the best one to answer that on. Dr. Nanda, can you hear me?
Okay. So guys, make always make sure that use some of the bullet points, because I believe when you send the profiles, make sure that you will send it on a bullet points, that in case if you're applying for any of the position, you need to highlight the skill set as per the position. Also, you also need to include your achievements. When you are including your achievements, like whatever you done, maybe in case if you have done some kind of a volunteer work in your college as well, make sure that you need to add it on your in your profiles. I think Dr. Anand mentioned that it happens in blocks, so it's very difficult to know the cause of rejection. Yes, the reason being when we are sending the profiles to the concerned team, so they do not have much time to go through of the profiles, so they always focused on the bullet points in case if you're applying for XYZ any of the position, because multiple people are applying for the same position, and in case when the profiles, and the reason why they are not getting the responses, because maybe the HR doesn't feel that the profiles is good for the position. So always make sure that you always mention the the achievements whatever you have done in the college, or maybe if you can use the powerful words in your resume, like you can use that you have accomplished this particular task, or maybe you have also mentioned that you have achieved some of the task, or maybe you have a very good negotiation skills as well, or maybe you can also use certain things which maybe which probably it will help you out to get a good response from the HR professionals. Always include the additional CV sections. If I talk about CV sections, like you also need to mention the languages, the professional certifications, in case if you have done some kind of a certifications from your college. Maybe if you have a, I'm sure that in your college you guys are also learning about some of the extra curriculum, like some of the extra languages. If I talk about Germany language, or if you have done some kind of a French language, you can also add these kinds of language which you have done in the college, that you have some kind of an certifications in that particular language. You can also mention some of the professional certificates also. If you have participated in any of the conferences, you can also add in your CV. In case if you got any kind of an award in your college, maybe in case if you got award for 100% attendance, you can also mention in your resume that yes, you have got this particular award. Maybe if you have done some kind of a volunteer work, you can also add in your resume. In case if you have done some some kind of a projects, I believe in college days you guys got some kind of a projects from your colleges. You also need to mention that yes, you have done these kinds of projects in your college, because when the HR professionals call you for an interview, in case if you get the shortlisting, when the HR professionals call you for the for the interview, they must ask you that what kind of projects which you have been completed in your college days, and what kind of how basically why they're asking about the projects, because they need to understand that how much teamwork you have been done in your college days, because it's very important when we're joining any of the organization. you know Teamwork is very important for everyone, so that once you will get a job, you will be easily gel up with the new members in the team also. And make sure don't include, it is a very important key in while mentioning in the resume, don't include personal information in the resume, because a lot of people made such kind of a mistake. They have include personal details. If I talk about personal details, see, some people also paste their photographs in the resume. I'm sure a lot of people done that. Is anyone here who have pasted their photograph in the resume? Can anyone say yes or no? Am I audible? Okay, Rahul done that, right? So guys, please make sure that do not include your personal information there in your resume. So don't uh, I'm sure a lot of people done that mistake, right? So please do not paste your picture on your resume, because it really doesn't impact anything. So also, if you talk about your religion, please do not mention whether you are Hindu, you're Christian, or maybe you are Muslim. We really do not. do not need all these information. So we only need to focus on what? We need to focus on your skills, that how we basically utilize your skills. So it doesn't matter whether you are mentioning all those things in your resume, because it hardly impact anything about your personal things. So guys, make sure that do not put your photographs on your resume, and do not mention about your religion on the resume. Also, it's very important to use the right file format, and make sure when you are, when you are sending your profile, always highlight, always mention that for which particular profile you are going to send send your resume. Always use a cover letter. It is very important before sending or before making any of the profiles. You need to make a decent cover letter along with your CV. In the cover letter, if I talk about top three cover letter, which I'm telling you here, that make sure when you're applying for any of the position, tailor your cover letter to the job. Make sure that when you are making a cover letter, it should be, similar as per the job description. So whenever you are sending any of the profile, you need to mention that this is the cover letter which you are going to send to the concerned team, and these are the skills which you have, and maybe you are a suitable profile for that particular position. Always show like about your knowledge, about your skill, and why you will be why you will be mentioning all those things, just to make you best candidate for the job. And always choose the cover letter which is short and crisp, so that anybody can read it in just a couple of moments, and they will definitely shortlist your resume. I hope all these kinds of information, if you will keep in your mind, definitely the chances of getting a job is very high. And also make sure the CV which you're going to send to the concerned team, it should be in a correct layout. And the grammatical mistakes should not be there. So always check the grammatical mistakes and before sending and before applying for any of the position. So I think these are all these points you need to take care before sending your profiles to the concerned team. Any questions, guys? If you have, you can ask me here. Okay, Sambit, you have mentioned that you have applied for a position that is data analyst position, but you did not hear anything from them, right? So Sambit, before sending your profile, because I'm sure when you're sending or when you're applying for any of the position on LinkedIn, you need to also check like when did the post, when the position has been posted. Maybe in case if you have applied for any of the position, sometime it happens that they have already selected few of the people. That is the reason maybe they are not response you back. Or maybe if you have seen there that yes, there is a position. In case if you're not getting the response, you can also check there that who is the concerned person, or maybe who is the person, maybe who have posted the job there. You can directly get in touch with them. But yes, make sure before applying any position on LinkedIn, you need to check when the position has been posted. Or maybe you can check that how many, maybe how many people who have been applied there. Anybody else? Sambit, I think you have got the answer. Okay, Rahul is asking me that, ma'am, what should we mention in the object?
It seems there is some audio problem. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Dr. Nanda, I think there is some technical glitch which is going on as of now today. So I think let's wait for some time. Let's Pratima is facing some issues, I think.
Yeah, I suppose because I got a lot of difficulty in getting in.
Yes. Okay, just a second. Okay, Dr. Nanda, I think like Pratima is getting back right now. Okay, so till the time she will be not on, she will be not there. I would be happy to answer the questions which I'm receiving. Because being the director of the company from last for Delta Technologies from last years, I have almost taken 40 to 50,000 interviews in my career till now.
Please carry on. Please
Okay.
carry on.
Okay, I think she is being admitted. Just a second. I think if she is there, so I would glad her to speak. Okay, so someone has mentioned, ma'am, should we mention, Sakshi has mentioned that, ma'am, should we mention our phone number and Gmail in the CV? That's a very good question, Sakshi, and this is very important question. Like you guys have to mention your email ID and the phone number because that is one of the most important thing where the interviewer or the company can reach you out. Because many times it happens like people that they once you give your interview once you're giving the interview and like they ask you like they will get back to you and if your email id and your phone number is not correct then you might lose the opportunity, so please make sure like you mention your email id and phone number correct, and you can mention it's absolutely fine if you can mention two numbers also because sometimes it's happened like your one number is like sometimes the number is not reachable so that they can reach you on the second number.
I think Pratima is back.
Yes, Pratima is back.
I'm so
Pratima, please
sorry, guys.
unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Might be there is a network issue. That is the reason, my system got, such kind of a problem. So I'm so sorry. So I think Anand, Anupam, I think you are adding something here.
No, Pratima, there was a question on behalf of you. I was just answering one question, like whether we should add the phone number and on the email ID on the CV. So I just mentioned that is very important thing. We have to mention that because because that's the only way of communication where the company can reach you out if you got shortlisted or if you got hired.
Exactly. So it's very important that it should be mentioned correctly because in case if somebody trying to reach you out, it's very difficult for them to get the details over there. So make sure that your number should be correct and your email ID should also be correct. Any other questions,
Pratima,
guys, if you have? Yeah.
Pratima, I just want to get in. Actually, I'm the professor training and placement. Ma'am, actually, here there is no question of CB shortlisting because everything is managed by, most of the things I'll say is managed by the training placement department. But during the interview, CB is definitely one of the most important reasons of rejection for many of the students.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Certainly,
Correct.
yeah, because most of our students get placed through campus recruitment. Most of, I'm
Right.
telling that if you definitely directly applying through LinkedIn. Okay.
Right. Right.
And these are basically engineering students, BTech,
Okay. So most of the students are from the engineering background, right?
all ma'am, all.
Okay. So, yes, when it comes to the campus placement, so I think mostly when it comes to the resume, what the HR professionals are getting, they all are similar. Am I correct, sir? Most of
No,
the
no ma'am.
profiles are
Actually,
very much similar, right?
no, not exactly similar, ma'am. Actually, here what happens, there is a scope of learning something beyond the curriculum. Okay, there will be and projects, type of projects, internship.
Correct.
There is lot of diversities. Uh,
Mhm.
CB is very important during the interview, and that is probably the cause of rejection of many of the students. Bad CV writing, not mentioning the right thing. I was just at the opening,
Correct.
in my opening remark, I was giving just one of the examples. It is this time it had happened. One student was appearing for core, but actually she had mentioned all her software skills.
Correct.
So see
You
the
know, when it
yeah.
comes to IT professionals, it is very important for them. Make sure that you will, add all those things, whatever they have done in their projects. Because in case if you guys will not highlight all these kinds of project or maybe all these kinds of IT skills, it is very difficult for the HR professionals to shortlist your profiles, and maybe the rejection would be there. So make sure whenever you are sending the profiles, always mention all these things, whatever you have done in the college projects. In case if you're getting, or maybe if you're applying for a position, that too into maybe in a core, UI or UX, or maybe you're applying for any of the position for Java. If you have done certain kind of a certifications in it, if you can mention in the resume, the chances of getting a job it will be on a higher note.
Further, a common error many of our students do, they mention a lot of project with higher higher education system, like doing internship in IIT and all. Sometimes that also creates a lot of problem because the interviewer induced to accept that the students would not come. So that is also an issue. So if it is not relevant, I say that students should not mention it, even if they had acquired something.
I think when it comes to internship, right? See, internship is something wherein they will get an idea about the corporate. So I think if they will mention the internship, in their resume, I don't think so that they will be getting, rejections on the basis of the internship. But yes,
No,
if
ma'am.
they will
Research
mention,
intensive. These are research intensive. That's I usually when you're applying for a corporate job, don't mention it. I usually say you have to rectify me whether I'm
for
correct or
you,
not.
you are talking about the internships.
Internship at IITs. Those are research internships, not
Yes,
any.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
When it comes to research one, yes, there is no need to mention on the resume. But yes, when you will be getting a practical exposure on any of the things, yes, you need to highlight all those things that yes, you have getting chance to go ahead and you have done some kind of internship which is on a practical note. So you will also highlight all those points there on the resume. Any questions, guys? Apart from all these things. Anupam, do you want to add something here?
Which question, Pratima?
I think there must be some kind of a network issue. I have said, I think I have clarified the questions, right? I have given the answer. Anything else? Uh, I'm not sure because I have seen that a lot of people left the conversation here.
Uh,
Audio issue is persistent, man.
yes, Dr. Nanda, you're asking something. You're saying something.
On actually, I was telling audio issues are there still in between. But
Uh-huh.
anyway,
Okay, so
Okay.
Dr. Nanda, what's the next question is? Would love to happy to answer you here.
yeah, a typical question asked by many of my students is how big, means how many pages this CV should be.
How many faces?
Yes.
He is
Pages.
asking about the pages.
And
Okay,
whether
so
double column is allowed or not. Then next question usually student asked about whether it should be like colored and look funky kind of things.
okay, like most of the students of your college, they are the freshers. So the CV doesn't matter like you having 2 pages or 3 pages. Whatever the information is in the CV, that should be accurate. The most important thing is that should be accurate. You have to cover each and everything your curricular activities which you have mentioned, and because you guys are all freshers, these are the students, so they have to mention the degrees over there, and they if they can mention their percentage also. That would give a good impression to in front of the interviewer. So it doesn't matter. So I'm sure like the CV should not go more than 2 pages for the freshers.
Okay, one typical question also asked by many of the students whether they should write the achievement during their school time or not. That is most of the students asked. And number two, whether they should mention about hobby or not.
Okay.
As
So
I think
yeah,
uh,
Pratima, go ahead.
I'm so sorry to cut you in short. I think, as I said earlier, that personal information should not be mentioned in the resume like photographs. When it comes to hobbies, I think it hardly matters when it comes to, because when we are sending the profiles, we are sending the profiles for getting a job, right? So the interviewer, or maybe the person who are going through with your resume, they only need to check about your skills, about your about your knowledge. So it's hardly matter whether you have mentioned. So I would recommend everyone, do not mention about
Now,
your
what
hobbies
about
in the resume.
past achievement? What about past achievement? Somebody was, let us say, the captain of the volleyball team of his
Yeah,
school, like that.
they can mention about their achievements, whatever they have done in the college. They can also mention if they have done some kind of a certification in Microsoft Excel, or maybe they somebody who are good in any of the languages. As I said, that if somebody have done some kind of a languages, or maybe if somebody have some kind of a certification, they have some certain kind of a certification in XYZ, any of the language, they can mention it. It will really gives a good impact in the resume. Anupam, you would like to add something here?
No, I think Pratima, you have covered each and everything. So there is one more question by someone else. Like, ma'am, most of the time we don't have the exact skills that the recruiters require, but we have the similar skills. In that case, should we apply?
Okay, so somebody is asking me here that there are various other job profiles other than technical domain, like analyst and consulting. So how to know what to include in the resume? So guys, as I said, that when you're applying for any of the position, you need to go through with the proper job description. And I think in job description itself, everything has been mentioned. In case if you're applying for a non-technical background, wherein there is no need for technical things, but yes, in certain position, if I talk about a recruiter position in a very good IT professional in an IT company, they're also looking for people who have done something into technical background, somebody who have done engineering into IT. So you need to only mention about the skills whatever you have learned in the college. Supposingly, why they're asking about the skills, because they need somebody who have certain kind of a knowledge about the IT skills. I'm talking about the for the recruiter position, because if you can go through it, you will get an idea about that. Okay, these are the company which basically hiring for people who have done something in technical, but they really do not want to go into the technical field. So someone, because sometime it happens, we have done, people done you know uh, the graduation, they have got the degree into BTech, but they really do not want to do do coding in the future. So they really need to change, or maybe they need to change their what we called, they really don't want to go into another field rather than into core coding field. So what they will do, they just read the job description thoroughly, and as per the job description, they can make manipulation in the resume and send it to the HR.
I would like to add something for my students. Uh, Dear students, if you do not have the exact requisite skill, but you have parallel skill, which may be similar, I'll not say parallel. Let us say somebody is asking for a Python, but if you can mention that you have good analytical skill and you are good in other programming, also sometimes it clicks. Basic about Python, but I have extensive experience in C. If you can mention it, also that will work, because learning a language is not a time taking is a matter of time taking some time. You can always manage. But I would like to mention one thing. CB is just what you without taking a single word. So don't lie on it. HR people are there; they can easily catch everything. So it should perfectly reflect you, both your skills and your personality.
I think Dr. Nanda, you have said very correctly that because a lot of times it happens, and we also, being as an HR professional, we have faced such issues when we are calling people for an interview. I'm talking about specifically for the fresher candidates. When we are calling them for an interview, whatever they have mentioned in their resume, and when we have asked them, I think they hardly know about what they have mentioned in their resume. So always make sure, when we are making your resume, it should be exactly correct, whatever you have done in the college or in the what we called as in the school. Because when the HR professionals take your interview, they might ask you about your skills, and if they have not match, if they're asking you about, supposedly if they're asking about your skill set, if you have mentioned that you have done something in C language, but if they are asking you that you have mentioned that you have done something in C language, and maybe you will be blank at that point of time because you have not done that, but yes, because you have mentioned that in the resume, it will be for sure, they will reject your profile, because whatever you have done in the past, it is not relevant, or maybe if it is not correct as per the resume.
Ma'am, let's get into some PI questions, because here most of our students fumble. They do not know what to say and what not to say.
Okay, so when it comes to the PI round, as I said, initially, I'm sure that this question, if I talk about, the first question the HR professional gonna be ask you guys, that tell me something about yourself. So I think a lot of people heard that questions, right? So can anyone say that? I'm sure that when you're going for any of the job interview, they must ask you about your about yourself. Tell me something about yourself. So guys, make sure then please do not tell anybody apart from your professional things. Please do not add anything which is personal there. So you can start like this, that yes, I beside your name you can mention. You can mention about your college, about your knowledge, about your skill set, and why you are applying for the position. You need to add all those things. Do not mention that yes, you have I'm coming from this particular location. I have this much of what we called, I have a family. Do not tell anything about your personal things, that I belongs to this place. Or maybe some people mention that yes, I have this much of siblings. Or maybe some people mention that yes, okay, my father is they have done this, or my mother have done this. Do not mention all these personal informations there. They are calling you, they're asking about yourself, means that they only wanted to know about your skills and your knowledge, so that they can compare it, and accordingly they will offer you a position in the job, in the company. I think Dr. Nanda, you have got the answer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, strength and weakness typically, there's a typical
Mhm.
question asked. Strength and
Yes.
weakness.
Yes, yes. When it comes to the strength and weakness, always, when somebody asks you about the strength, you guys can mention about the good part. If I talk about the strength, like if you are a very good communicator, this will be your strength. You can mention in your resume that, yes, I'm a very good communicator. If somebody is a very extrovert kind of a person, they can say, and like they are very good on us, they have a very good speaking skills. They can also mention about their speaking skills. If they have, if you have done some kind of a volunteer work in the college days in your past, you can also mention that yes, this is my strength. If you are very good in certain kind of languages, you can also mention about your skill, about your strength there. And when it comes to weakness, guys, don't tell anybody about your weakness. So make sure when somebody asks you about your weakness, the answer should be very much manipulated. Because in case if you're saying that okay, I'm not doing my work on time, the HR professional will must say, okay, why would I hire you if you will not complete the task on time, right? So please do not mention anything. Yes, you can say very nicely about this question, that yes, if somebody says that okay, what is your weakness, you can say okay, I'm a very much foodie kind of a person, right? So I love to eat this kind of a thing. So yes, this is my weakness. If I will get this particular food, I will be much more happy. But make sure that do not answer like I am a lazy person, and I can't complete the task on time. So please do not mention all those things. I think Dr. Nanda, you have got the answer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I think my students have got it.
Okay. Anything else, guys? If you wanted to know, maybe I can help you out there. Anupam, would you like to add something here?
Okay, Pratima, I think that's a good going on. So I don't think I should add anything over here. So, guys, and like you will be sitting into the campus placements and all, and you will be going for interviews and all. The most important thing which interviewer used to see is about your attitude, the way you present yourself. if your knowledge is less, like if, for example, if they're hiring for any technical hiring is going on, and you know about 60 to 70% of your of the questions in technical, that's absolutely fine. But your attitude is good, your attitude is very positive towards the interviewer, then you are hired. This is what my experience is from last 13 to 14 years. This is how we hire the people. And I'm very much sure that Pratima, you used to do the same.
Yes,
Some
yes, yes.
sometimes
I
sometimes
think this is true.
Yeah, sometimes the interview asks if you have any question, ask. There are also students ask me what should I tell, whether I should ask or I do not ask. And
I
if I don't
think,
want to ask,
Dr. Nanda, I think I'm so sorry. I think if somebody asks you about like, okay, before before wrapping up the interviews, always ask that because in the end of the question, HR should ask you, okay, do you have any questions? So when the HR ask you about this question, it means that they wanted to know about your interest level. That I'm sure that when we are going for any of the job profiles, if we are giving the answer like in a way or in a manner that okay, I would like to know more about the company, I would like to know about who is the head of the company, or I would like to know about the work which I'm going to be get there in the company, it shows that how much interested you are for the position. And always make sure before applying and before going for any of the company, you should go through properly about the company which you're going to apply. Because a lot of time it happens when the HR ask you, okay, you are here for an interview, can you tell me, do you have any can you tell me about our company, like for which position you are going to apply. So make sure when you are going for any of the interview, you should go through about their websites, you will check about how many where the headquarter is based out, who is the CEO, what the company they are doing into, what is their business line. So these are the things which I think they need to take care.
So Pratima,
yeah,
there is one
students, you
more
also
question.
post some questions because you always ask such questions to me. Now you have an opportunity. Please ask question, dear students.
So there is one question by Anshul Chaudhary that what can I mention instead if I was introvert or have limited contact since beginning, so can't achieve any skills. How can I know what questions can the HR can ask me since I have never faced any interview earlier?
Achal, I think I must say that HR will ask you about yourself. As I said in the beginning, that they might ask you about the things which is mentioned in your resume. What are the skill set which you have done? From maybe they will ask you about your achievements. They will ask you about your certification, or maybe they will ask you about why they will hire you. So these are the such questions probably the HR gonna ask you at the time of an interview. Whether you are going for a first time for an interview, make sure that for whatever be the position which you're going to apply, always make sure that you will you will go through the job description properly. You before going and giving an interview to the XYZ company, make sure that you will go through it properly, for which company you are going to apply. Maybe they will ask you about your skills. If you will brush up your skills before going for an interview, if you have done certain things like in a certification way, or maybe in a technical core area, you will always brush up your skill before going for an interview. Maybe they will give you a piece of paper, or maybe they will give you a desktop just to check how good you are in coding. If you're applying for a technical field, maybe also they will ask you certain questions related to your current scenario. Maybe they will ask you about the versions of the Java if you're going and apply for a Java position, or maybe they will ask you about certain things which is going on in the new trend. So always make sure that you will check there, and then you will then you will go for whenever you're going for an interview.
Yeah, dear students, beyond this, if you have any doubt, but you are unable to ask right now, also you can approach to TNP. You can get your question answered through Anupam.
I would love to have those all the questions, Dr. Nanda, and beside that, I will like after this meeting, I will just have a conversation with you also, so that because I'm getting a lot of requests on these things, like and what are the best things which we can do for your college for the best placements and all. We can have a discussion after this meeting.
Sure, sure.
So there is one more question, like from Sohail, like why do you want to join certain role? How to give this convincing answer? Pratima, can you answer this question?
When it comes to this answer, I would say that you have to mention the relevant skills, whatever you have, right? And which probably shall bring to you to the organization. You should also mention about your communication abilities. You can also mention about the teamwork skills, right? You can also tell them about your future plans or maybe your objectives for getting a job. I think this could be a good answer to that question.
Ma'am, one more question I recall actually asked by one of my students. Where do you want to see yourself after 5 years or some years? That's a very typical question asked by many of these.
Okay, okay. When it comes to the questions, why the HR gonna ask you about such question that like after 5 years down the line, what will be your plans? Because they wanted to understand whether you wanted to continue in the same field or like you have certain kind of different plans. That is the reason they have asked you this question. If you're gonna answer this question in a very good manner, that okay, down the line 5 years I would like to become manager, or maybe I would like to go ahead and heading a team, or because I have very good team skills, that will be the good answer for that particular question. Anything else, guys?
Yes, Pratima, there is one more question from Swati. That apart from the knowledge and the attitude, how much looks and body language matter? I mean, if I'm attending my first ever interview and my body language conveys that I am nervous, then what impression it puts on the recruiters, and how should I handle this?
It's a very
I
good
think
question.
I if I would answer this question, I would say that I will give you an example here. Have you heard that first impression would be the last impression, right? See, the HR professional, they never meet you, previously. So what they're looking out for when they're calling for an interview, your personality, your attitude, your body language. So I could say that body language, it actually plays a very vital role before going for any of the interview. Why? Because when you are not looking presently, or maybe when you are not able to look professionally, or maybe when you are not looking very much good at the time of interview, hardly people wanted to speak with you. Am I correct, Mr. Nanda? So when you are doesn't look
Yes,
presently, I think hardly people wanted to speak with you.
ma'am,
Your
this is
body
this
language should be correct. Mhm.
this I personally feel is the bottom line. Actually, you must be minimum. It should be presentable. It should not be unpresentable. That much I can say.
Correct, correct,
There
correct,
is a
correct.
there is a bottom line definitely. Body language is very important even in case of international diplomacy also. But it is overhyped in interview.
Right, right, right. And I think it gives a very good impact on the managers too. When your body language is good, when you are able to speak in front of the other person very confidently, it really impacts a lot. Any other questions, guys?
I think we don't have any more questions. No one has writing for further questions. So, guys, if you have any questions, you have the you can just take out you can just take the email ID from Dr. Nanda, and my team and myself will be happy to answer each and every of your questions.
Thank you, Anupam. Thank you, Anupam. Thank you, Pratima. It's really good to hear from all of you. In fact, I'll rate it as far as asking question is concerned. It's good from my students, because now asking question has become very, it's a rarity in the sense because every information is available to all of us students. But one-to-one interaction is definitely better.
That's a very good point, Dr. Nanda. This is what I want to discuss you after this call, because one-to-one interactions and a lot of things which we can plan it out for the good placements and all for the students. That would be a great help for the college also and for your students.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Nanda, for giving an opportunity to say a few words about the HR professionals, right? And I think thank you so much, Anupam, uh, um, for this great initiative, so that I think people will get a good job in the companies also. I think you are actually bridging the gap between the company and the corporate, right? Between the corporate and the college students, right? I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Pratima,
you.
and thank you. And we really appreciate to come on the platform and share your experience with the students. And I'm sure, like I'm sure, like we will have a lot of more things to do together, right?
Definitely, definitely. I would love to be a part of this particular initiative.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Dr. Nanda.
I
Yeah,
think
thank you.
Sambit
Thank you
wants
very
to
much.
say something. He raised his hands.
If we
Yes,
have a
Samvit,
poor
go ahead.
communication skills, then what we will do?
You need to focus on your comm skills first. I would must say, huh?
Yeah, but
Because
communication
without
skill,
communication,
by communication skill, he means English. It is important, but you can also communicate with other language if you are not comfortable, very much comfortable. You are
Yes,
usually communicating.
I would go with the Dr. Nanda on this point. See, your communication skills. Yes, of course, the communication skills matters a lot when you are sitting for an interview. It's totally depend upon job to job. If you're going for any international voice process, of course, you need to improve your work on your English. But if you're going for any technical job or any job which is related to the domestic process, your communication skills is not so much important. But the way you're expressing your points, the way you are expressing your views, that should be very much clear. So it doesn't matter. You can speak in Hindi also.
I think comm skills is very important these days, right? But I must say, if you are going for a core technical job, I think more than comm skills, your technical skills matters a lot.
Right.
Anything else, guys, which probably may we help you out?
I think that's for the day. Thank you so much, Pratima, for the time. I know you're busy with the with the current stuff. So thank you so much, and we'll definitely get back to you on this if any questions are being passed on to you by the students.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Anupam. Thank you, Dr. Nanda, for giving us an opportunity to say a few words about our profession. And in case if anybody has any question, they can come back to Anupam, or maybe they can also reach me out on LinkedIn. I would love to share my experience with the people as well.